What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Gaming Channel. My name is AJ Gels. How y'all doing? I'd say it's time once more for the weekly show, but it's technically a day late. Originally, I was planning on just kind of skipping the show this week. I wasn't feeling well yesterday, mixed with just, again, it's one of those weeks where it's just there was no big news to really tie the show around. So I just decided, you know what, screw it. I'm not feeling great, no show. I ended up not recording anything yesterday. Really, I haven't recorded anything today either because, again, I still wasn't feeling great. I'm fine. I'm not sick. I think I just ate something bad and it's getting out of my system and all that. But, you know, I put out on Twitter yesterday, you know, if anybody's got anything, hey, send me links or whatever if you got anything to cover. And friend of the channel, Akita Touchdown, he sent me some stuff for the new season of, I'm going to say season, but the new character reveal. There we go. For Apex Legends, also something because apparently some new operators got dropped for Siege 6. He's a big multiplayer guy. He streams, I know he streams some PUBG. I know he streams a few more multiplayer-focused games. Apex Legends, for some reason I already mentioned that game and I couldn't come up with the title. You know, he streams some of those things. He's over on Twitch. He's on YouTube. Again, name Akita Touchdown, pretty much exactly how I'm saying it, spelled that way. But, you know, good friend of the channel and all that. He sent me some links for some stuff. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's do some, I'm not going to say goofy news stories, but let's do some news stories that really would have just been kind of padding for a regular show, mixed with some of the videos that he sent me. So we'll be checking all that stuff out. Hopefully this will still be up on Tuesday. And then I believe it's Wednesday. We are expecting a state of play similar to the Ghost of Tsushima event, but for The Last of Us Part 2, so we'll be checking that out tomorrow. So I think that's really all our announcements. Like I said, don't expect a lot of big stuff. This is just a lot of minor things. As always, links and everything are down in the description. Let's actually hop into our first article here, and I guess kind of speaking of The Last of Us 2, the dev warns you'll miss entire story moments on your first playthrough. I don't know how I feel about that. Part of me really likes it. Part of me really likes the fact that you have to go through, play the game multiple times. It really pushes the exploration in finding items and everything. It also makes me wonder what the structure of the game is going to be like. Is it going to be a little bit more open world than the first game? And the first game had some, I'm not going to say open world. I think the better term is more sandboxy moments. You know, some moments where you can really kind of explore and interact with Joel and Ellie in the world and everything. So I'm not sure if it's going to be something like that, but a little bit more. What exactly is going to happen? I'm very curious. Let's actually read the article. As I said, this article is GameSpot. Eddie Makuch is the author. Article reads, Last of Us Part 2 will feature level designs that are even more open than in the first game. Oh, well, there we go. I answered that from that question of mine. First goddamn sentence. And due to this, there could be entire story moments and scripted sequences you might miss. Co-game director Anthony Newman revealed this in the newest Inside the Gameplay video for The Last of Us Part 2, and I quote, in this game, we've gone so far in making the level design open that there are actual entire story moments, entire combat encounters, full scripted sequences that you may completely miss, Newman said. And there are things that we feel like, even though a portion of our player base may never see these things, the fact that when you do encounter them, you feel like you discovered them, it lends them this charm and this magic, and I think is unique. I think is unique to games. That this happened to me because of what I did and the place I explored to. End quote. There we go. Sorry, the quote within a quote thing was weird. Look, as I said, I like this idea. I do like rewarding exploration with full-on scripted events. I mean, you know, the whole, optional combat encounters and everything, but, fully scripted sequences and everything, especially if you're delving into character. I mean, I have a feeling if it's something that's missable, it's just gonna pad the characters. We're probably not gonna see anything referenced in the I don't want to say required cutscenes, but in the actual cutscenes that you can't miss, I'm gonna guess there's nothing that references those missable scenes because there would be continuity issues mixed with it'd be confusing as hell. But still, I'm not sure how I feel hiding character behind that. You know, look, if you want to hide upgrades, you want to hide Easter eggs, you want to hide unlockable, you know, you want to hide something there. I like it. It's cool. I mean, hell, even if it, just those minor... Although I guess they are similar to those minor dialogue things. And like petting... Was petting the giraffe necessary in the first Last of Us game? I'm trying to remember. Was that a required scene? I can't remember if that one actually was a required scene or not. But you did notice it a lot, especially early on in the game when Joel and Ellie were first getting to know each other. I need to go back and play the first game again. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. There were moments that you could kind of walk around. There was one scene. It was right around the time that you meet Bill. Or, you know, when they first get into that empty town that Bill set up all the booby traps in, that they're in a music store or something, and, you know, Joel has this optional little dialogue with Ellie. That's cool, it's character, whatever, and it's not actually important to the plot. I guess this is kind of the same thing, just with actual scripted cutscenes. Like I said, I don't know how I feel about putting something that intricate into a game that's a reward for exploration. I guess on the one hand, that's really cool, but on the other, it's a little frustrating that I might not ever see some of these like actually scripted scenes like that. I don't know, man. I started off thinking that's really cool, and now I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know how I feel about that. Either way, let's keep rolling. Elsewhere in the video, writer-director Neil Druckmann said The Last of Us Part 2 aims to heighten the feeling of being a survivor. You play as Ellie in the sequel, and she is smaller and more nimble than Joel, the protagonist of the first game. Ellie may not always be the strongest person in the room, but she's capable of fighting bigger and stronger enemies thanks to her unique skills and quickness. I mean, I think we got screenshots of that in The Last of Us proper. I don't know why I said proper, but, you know, during the, excuse me, voice cracked, during the winter sequence, you know, you play as Ellie, that weird cult leader, and that sequence is just, I mean, still at the very end, when she just goes to town on that guy's face with that machete, holy hell, man, one of the most powerful video game moments ever. I honestly think that might be the coolest scene in the game, and that boss fight is really neat, too. It's very eerie, it's very, very disturbing, but god damn, man, just when she just goes full mount and just, oh man, just starts hacking away with that machete, you know, the blood flying everywhere, Joel, you know, just like pulls her off of him. Yeah, it was, man, again, I mean, that was a fucking scene, man. But no, I did think it was really cool, especially after playing as Joel, as somebody who's, you know, had a lifetime. I mean, what, it's 20 years, I think, after the death of Sarah. So, I mean, you know, he's had a lifetime to get used to this and build himself for the world as a full-grown adult. Ellie, maybe she was born and is used to the world, but still, she's a teenager. She's not fully developed mentally, physically, everything just yet. And so, I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling here. The point I'm trying to get to is, I think we're going to see elements of that where, yeah, she's still not as big and bulky like Joel was, because Joel was a freaking freight train. Especially, god damn it, I still love, you know, just punching people, and where you grab them, just slam their head into a wall. You know, she's not gonna be like him, because, I mean, you know, you just look at her stature, even, you know, as an adult, she's not, you know, the same as Joel. But I think we're going to get the best of both worlds, is basically what I'm saying. You know, I think it's still going to be a lot more guerrilla tactics, stealth fighting. I mean, that was kind of how you wanted to play it with Joel. But, you know, things got hairy. Joel really could kind of fight his way out of it. I think Ellie's going to be the same thing, but a little different. I think it's going to be pretty cool. You know, and I know so many people have been getting on this game about the leaks and everything. I've still not read the leaks, and as always, if you put the leaks in the comments or anything like that, I will block you. I will pull those comments, because that's not cool. Look, I'm not going to say you can't. Yeah, I'm not going to say don't go out and find the leaks and see, because if you want to see that, that's your choice, man. Look, you have made the conscious, you know, decision to go and check that shit out. I've got no problem with you if you want to do that. Just like people who talk about it, I've got no problem. Label your shit, and so people don't accidentally see what the leaks are, because that's, You know, that's I think common courtesy. But if you want to see what the leaks is, I've got no issue with it. It's just, you know, putting them into the comments and trying to ruin people's day, you know, trying to ruin people's experience with that don't want to see them. I think that goes beyond being just a dick move. That's really not, it's not cool. But either way, what I was trying to get at there before I went into that rant, was I've been seeing a lot of people with the leaks going, oh, this game's gonna suck. And I've been seeing, you know, I'm talking like titles of videos, just like people's general overall impressions of the leaks. I've again not seen the actual leaks themselves. A lot of people are thinking they're really gonna push that sort of leftist sort of very heavily progressive sort of politics into the game, and it wouldn't surprise me knowing Naughty Dog. A lot of video game developers, let's be honest, do that. I'm not a big fan of that personally. Generally because, look, there's nothing wrong with having a video game be political or having political or social commentary in games or whatever. But still, if that's if your main point, and I'm sure people are going to argue with me over this, if your main point of a work is to push social change or push some sort of social narrative, it bugs me. I don't like it generally. Like I said, I'm sure that you can find instances where I do, but for the most part, I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. And look, again, it's like I said, I am not going to say you can't push a social message or some sort of theme or message or whatever. I still like it to be hidden underneath. I would, if you can remove that, or again, I don't want to say remove that, because if sometimes if you remove the political aspects or certain things, the story itself can't exist. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I want it to exist as a piece of entertainment and not be good just because of the message it pushes. Because I think that happens a lot of times. Oh, well, the message is so important. Well, that doesn't make the movie good. That doesn't make the video game good. That's what I'm trying to say. Look, you can have these messages or whatever. As long as it's within a good game, I can generally let it go. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm sorry that I was going roundabout way of saying that. But it's a tough thing to kind of talk about sometimes. Either way. Again, I keep going off kind of in tangents. This one still kind of goes back into the point I was trying to make. People are having issues with what it looks like the politics that the story is going to be pushing. Look, and I think I saw, just while I was flipping through YouTube on my phone, you know, you can kind of see the next video kind of play, and sometimes it'll run subtitles. Somebody, I think, there was some video I caught for like 2 seconds that I think made an interesting point. It might have been an Upper Echelon's Games video. I'm not entirely sure, but basically they said something along the lines of, look, these things could be out of context. There could be, you know, things surrounding these moments that again, add context to the scene, that make it less heavy-handed, so to speak. Again, I've said this before, that you know, these leaks apparently from early builds of the game, so maybe things have changed, maybe certain dialogue has been rewritten or whatever. So I think to go completely off what the leaks are saying is not... I don't know. I'd still give the game a shot, especially if you love the first game. I wouldn't just, you know, immediately go to burn the world down. Everything sucks. But I don't know, man. Initially I was a little worried because the pessimism was getting me, and then I think I saw the last trailer and I got super fucking excited. And I'm really excited to see more about the game. Either tomorrow or today, depending on when this video goes up, because I've been sitting and ranting about this article much longer than I intended to. Sorry, I'll get back into the thing here, or back into what we're talking about. I don't know. These were just points that I just were thinking about with this game, and I wanted to talk about. I just hadn't had a jumping off point, so to speak. Where were we? Yeah, here we are. The Last of Us Part 2 introduces a series of new gameplay systems, including jumping and the ability to go prone. You can see these in the video and hear directly from the game's designer about one more time, and hear directly from the game's designer about them. Something that I think I saw back at an E3 that I really hope stays in the game is that you could like almost crawl under cars and shoot up people's ankles. Just because that was really freaking cool to see. And I am getting that. Yeah, that's right. I'm getting a collector's edition. I'm very excited. Especially the little Ellie statuette. I think it's a really cool sculpt. Let's see here. It's also revealed in the video that there are not enough resources in the game to allow you to fully upgrade your character in a single playthrough. New Game Plus basically is what's being announced there. The developers is intentionally denying players resources to help increase the tension you feel related to the survival theme. I mean, I'm trying to think. Were there enough things to completely upgrade your weapons if you found all the parts in the first game? I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever actually done a full upgraded Joel in the first game. I don't know, man. I wouldn't consider The Last of Us a survival game in and of itself. I wouldn't call that a game a survival game. I think it's got elements of a survival game, and like almost like survival game light, so to speak. But I wouldn't call it a survival game necessarily. Yeah, I like the idea of not giving you everything so you can't fully upgrade your character. Because like I said, I believe you could in The Last of Us. You had to plan it perfectly and find every door to open with a shiv and everything, but I think you could completely upgrade Joel. Now, not being able to completely upgrade Ellie in one playthrough, again, I like that idea because it really makes your choices matter a little bit more. But again, I don't know. Just personally, I don't think calling this game a survival theme, though, not necessarily game. Take for that what you will. With just about a month before release, Sony also recently introduced an official Last of Us 2 branded console and controller, which, by the way, looks fucking sweet. I really wish I could get one. I just don't want to drop money on another PS4 Pro, seeing that I already have the Death Stranding one, and that one also looks really cool. Beside the point. Along with accessories like a headset and hard drive, it's up for pre-order now. Some of the promotion is a little less dire than these trailers, like of the official Twitter emoji. I've been seeing that a lot. But, oh my god, dude. Oh, that PS4 Pro, though, is just so fucking sweet. I think I saw the company that's in charge of production or something. They said that they were doing some new like engraving method to it's Ellie's tattoo on her arm is basically engraved into the faceplate for the thing. It just, oh man, it looks so fucking cool. Either way, sorry, I got distracted. Let's move on. On to a game that honestly I don't think I have seen anything for in about a year and a half. Apparently, Twin Mirror Twitter account teases news coming in the near future. Article Liam Croft of Push Square. Article reads, there's a very good chance you don't remember what Twin Mirror is. Originally announced all the way back at E3 2018. Jesus Christ, that was a while ago. I remember this project. It was a really cool looking game. It looked like, it kind of looked like if Alan Wake was well, I guess Alan Wake kind of was episodic, but if Alan Wake was done in the style of a, like a Telltale or a Don't Nod game, it really looks like it's dealing a lot with kind of a guy who doesn't fully remember what happened over, like, let's say the last 2 or 3 days. He's kind of dealing with a different world and kind of the supernatural. It was a really cool looking game. If anybody doesn't remember, go ahead, check out the announced trailer, all this, some of the stuff. But yeah, I don't think this game, we've heard anything for this game in about a year and a half now. It's been a long time. Let's see here. The upcoming project from Don't Nod hasn't been heard from in a seriously long time. Therefore, we've been a good bunch of lads and embedded the reveal trailer above to refresh yourself. Now that we're all caught up, the game's Twitter account has just risen from the dead to tease that more news is finally coming in the near future. My guess is it's probably going to be a part of Summer Games Fest. It's my guess. Don't Nod writes, and I quote, "Hello everyone, it's been a while. We're so excited. The whole team is working hard on #TwinMirror. And we are now ready to tell you more about the game. Stay tuned for more news real soon," end quote. We wonder if at this point in the generation, Twin Mirror could be a PS5 game. It was originally announced for Sony's current gen console, but due to the amount of time the project has gone dark for, we feel like there's a decent possibility of that being the case. Still, this could be an interesting summer experience that we end up raving about. We'll describe or yeah, well, this scribe might at least. I don't know. There's something weird there. Are you looking forward to Twin Mirror? Blah blah blah. Something about the Mind Palace. Again, it just the game had some weird metaphysical shit in it. Honestly, I really liked the idea for Twin Mirror. It really caught my attention when I first saw it. It looked. This is gonna sound mean. It like I said, it looks more like a Remedy game than it does a Don't Nod game, because it doesn't look like it's coming from the. It wasn't thought up by like a bunch of high school activists. You know what? I'll be nice, college activists. I'm serious. I've said that I love Life is Strange. I love the original Life is Strange, but it definitely has a bent to it, and kind of going back to the politics being pushed in your games. I can ignore it if I enjoy the game, but we gotta be honest. There was a lot of it in Life is Strange. I really liked Before the Storm. Life is Strange 2. It had its ups and downs for me. I enjoyed it overall, but I still think it had its ups and downs compared to 1 and Before the Storm. Before the Storm, I think I was probably my favorite. Either way, not super important. You know, that stuff, which I'm not even making fun of the visual style. I actually like the visual style of the games. I'm talking about the themes and everything that was involved in those games. That's, like I said, just me kind of poking a little fun at Don't Nod, but this game definitely looks like something that Remedy would come up with. I'm just kind of hoping that they go more Alan Wake or Quantum Break. I think Quantum Break got a little confusing for the sake of being confusing. But I hope they don't go full-blown Control, where they just make things so fucking weird for the sake of being weird. Everybody fell all over Control, and I never understood it. I still plan on finishing that game eventually. It's just not on the top of my priorities, because I'm honestly not a fan of it, and I know I'm not trying to talk about Control, but every time I reference Remedy recently, I feel like I have to bash on Control. Either way, Twin Mirror, really cool concept. I'm trying to describe what I got from it, which, like I said, it feels like if a Remedy game was made by Don't Nod. That's the best way that I kind of got the feeling of it when I saw it. So I was immediately drawn to the project, and I'm very excited for more soon. Like I said, I'm expecting it to probably be in Summer Games Fest, and if they don't make a sort of you can play it now or next month or whatever, this game is going to be an early 2021, kind of like a January, February release, 2021 PS5. Well, when was this was announced? I'm trying to remember. Was this announced at the Square conference? Did Square do one in 2018? I've said this before. My 28. I get the 2018 and the 19 conference flipped around a little bit. I want to. Was this the Square? Was Square? God damn it! I can't remember when the Square did their first conference. I want to say they did their first conference in 2018. Like they did. Or no. Was that when Square Enix was still doing like the sizzle reel thing, like where they announced like stuff like The Quiet Man, which I still kind of like. I have a weird soft spot in my heart for that game. Sorry, it's a weird, non-important detail here. What was I even trying to talk about? Oh right, whether it's going to be PlayStation exclusive. Sorry, I don't know, because Don't Nod typically teams with Square Enix. So I don't think it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. I think it's going to be multi-platform. And my guess would be early 2021, probably February, like a middle to late February game would be my guess. But who knows? Maybe they'll come out and say you could play it within a month. But I highly doubt this is going to be at launch for next gen titles. That's my guess. Moving on to an article that's really not going to take a whole hell of a lot of time to talk about is the Fairy Tail RPG being delayed into July due to the coronavirus disruptions. Article Robert Ramsey pushed Square. The only thing that I really have to say about this is boo. I am very unhappy about this. I was so excited to play Fairy Tail. Actually, it would have been June 26th, I think. Sorry, yeah, June 26th. Yeah, because it was a week after The Last of Us Part 2. I was actually really looking forward to it, because Fairy Tail's got a really special place in my heart. You know, the anime. I mean, hell, the opening, like that show caught me the first time I heard its opening. The very original Fairy Tail opening is just, it's so good. It's Snow Fairy by the band escapes me, but it's a really good song actually. The full song, not just the opening theme song. Either way, mix that with, it's going to be a turn-based game. It's based on one of my favorite anime / manga properties. It's just, it's got so much to it that I was just sold on. And then I saw that first gameplay, and there's kind of like an overworld thing. There's kind of like weird kind of questing, trying to raise your guild rank and everything. I'm just like, oh, I'm fucking in. I'm sold already on this game. And it's just been slow. It just keeps getting pushed back and back and back. It's just like, oh, god damn it, I just want to play it. The promising-looking Fairy Tail role-playing game has been delayed. Koei Tecmo has announced the turn-based title was originally due to launch next month on the 25th of June. But really, 25th? I thought it was 20. Yeah, either way. But it's now been pushed back to the 30th and 31st of July in Europe and North America, respectively. It's okay. So it's probably 25th, 26th, respectively, for territories, whatever. As you'd expect at this point, the ongoing coronavirus situation is to blame for the delay. A statement says that the development team needs just a little more time to, quote, put the final touches, end quote, on the game. Their schedule is no doubt impacted by COVID-19. It's worth noting that this isn't the first delay to hit Fairy Tail. Originally, the title was meant to be released back in March before it was moved to the summer. At least this new delay isn't nearly as long. Are you looking forward to Fairy Tail? Well, hell yeah, I am. I think it was originally supposed to come out the same day, if not week, as the Final Fantasy VII remake. Yeah, like I said, it makes me sad to see this game get delayed. I mean, oddly, the coronavirus situation is one of those things that it's kind of why I've questioned why Sony hasn't been doing a lot with the next-gen stuff. I mean, I guess you could argue, you know, well, it hasn't stopped Microsoft yet. I don't know, man. I'm not going to make a claim here, but I think Japan's protocols have been a little tough to deal with, and I don't know. Like I said, I just... If there's a, you know what I mean, if there's a reason that I can think that that Sony's not been very forthcoming with the PS5, other than the coronavirus, I've got nothing. Other than the coronavirus, I can't think of anything that would have really kind of pushed them back or messed with their strategy. Mostly because I can't figure it out, man. You'd think they would have released something. I mean, you know, we keep hearing rumors that a reveal's right around the corner. I don't freaking know. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could ask, well, then why how's Sony doing stuff for Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2, but both of those are part of two American developers, Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch, I believe, are both based out of California. So, I believe, if I'm incorrect on that fact, let me know. And yes, I know California is still undergoing a lot of lockdown sort of stuff, but still, in the U.S., restrictions around the country are slowly starting to lift. I'm actually, my workplace has a reopening date. I'm not necessarily sure if I'm going back on that date, but, you know, it's a whole thing based on, you know, what our expected capacity / I'd say attendance or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how to put it. Basically based on what your position is mixed with date of employment is going to affect when exactly you come back. So, like I said, I basically what I'm trying to say is, you know, the country's slowly reopening. There we go. Sorry, and then I got excited talking about my own thing. So again, I think it's, man, yeah, I don't know. I think Japan went a lot stricter than the U.S. did on a lot of their regulations when it comes to COVID and everything. So I'm not really sure exactly what's going on. Again, I'm spitballing ideas here. So, and I'm also rambling. So sorry about that. Either way, sad that this is delayed. Can't wait for it to play, and obviously we will be playing it on the channel. Moving on to a story that I honestly don't get why people are surprised by this, that the Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is not the remaster many were hoping for on PS4, article Robert Ramsey. Hell, I believe that some people, I've seen articles actually declaring this the worst remaster ever on PS4. Look, maybe the bugs are worse than the original one, but I remember Mafia 2. I loved it, by the way. I loved Mafia 2. People want to fight me on that one. I still challenge Mafia 2 was fun, especially that ending. Either way. I don't know. I like the game. What can I say? Bugs and all. I mean, hell, and I still remember that bug that kept happening to me where I kept driving and the road would basically disappear or it would become like intangible and I'd just keep I'd like fall off the map or whatever. Oh man, those were the days, man. But yeah, basically I put it on Twitter when I was seeing everybody complaining about these bugs and everything. It's just like, oh, so they just remade the game, they just remastered the game perfectly. Okay. You know, it's just like I'm laughing at Mafia 3. Even if they fix the bugs with Mafia 3, some of the lighting issues, some of the things here or there with Mafia 3, you still got Mafia 3. Look, I like the game. It's fun enough. The story's good. You know, I think the story's fine. The gameplay, yeah, is oddly, it's obnoxiously repetitive. I don't mind that in that game for some reason, but, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't get whether remaster Mafia 3. That one doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. Just release a patch, generally, is what I'd think. I can understand, you know, remastering Mafia 2, especially because they're basically completely remaking Mafia 1. As far as I'm able to tell, they're completely redoing scenes, they're redoing the script. Just everything from Mafia 1 is basically being redone. It's being remade in all essence. But yeah, man, Mafia 2 was kind of a train wreck on its original platform, and just it makes me laugh that people are just, oh, this game sucks. Yeah, it kind of sucked on the first one. Loved it. It still kind of sucked. Where the hell was I? Have I even read a sentence for this article? Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. There we go. I just went Porky Pig for a second. Launched on PlayStation 4 yesterday at the time of writing. And, well, let's just say that it leaves a lot to be desired. This is a remaster of Mafia 2, which launched on PS3 all the way back in 2010. It's the same game, but it's been given a bit of a visual overhaul, better textures, lighting, performance, all the stuff you'd expect from a modern remaster. However, a number of issues are currently holding the re-release back to the point where hordes of fans are expressing their disappointment on forums and social media. Simply put, Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is rough on PlayStation 4. It's certainly not unplayable or broken, but it has problems. But it has problems that really shouldn't be there. For starters, an unstable frame rate stops the return of Vita Scaletta from being as smooth as it should be. On PS4 Pro, the title appears to aim for 60 frames per second, but it never stays that way for very long. There are also reports of consistent stuttering, especially during some main missions. And then there are the bugs. Some players say that they've had to restart entire missions because button prompts and other interactions simply don't appear. Others say that they had Vito get stuck in the environment, forcing them to reload on multiple occasions. I had a lot of that happen in the original. There are even audio issues. Numerous gameplay clips already on YouTube highlight incredibly loud cutscenes, while the gameplay itself is relatively quiet. And during certain scenes, the audio mixing appears to be all over the place. In short, this isn't a remaster that many were hoping for, with any luck. Does this game just have like again, just general push square endings? Does this game have just like a weird following that I didn't know of? Because from everyone I've talked to about this game, it's kind of like Dragon Age 2. I'm one of the few people who can go, was it flawed? Yeah. Was it fun? Yeah. Because I still have a love for Dragon Age 2. Look, again, if I'm going to play a Dragon Age game, yes, 1 is better. I would say Inquisition is better. Inquisition, I think, kind of goes back and forth depending on who you talk to. That's an argument for a different day that I've had on different occasions. But kind of with Mafia 2, it's the same thing. I've talked to people and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, I've talked to people and they're like, oh, the game fucking sucked." And I'm like, "Really?" Like, yeah, I'm not gonna say it was fucking masterpiece, but man, I enjoy it. I thought it was fun. I like it. Yeah, it's just like I'm just curious. Like, is there a big community of people out there who actually was really hoping for a Mafia 2 remaster and we're excited for it. Because like I said, I didn't remember this game being loved that much. I don't know. I get it. I get it. I'm laughing, but yeah, people paying the money that like what I think it's like $40. I think maybe it's 20. Maybe I'm completely wrong here. I haven't really looked into buying this remaster, but this game, I get it. You know, you drop the cash on it. You don't want it to be bugged or anything like that. Yeah, but it does make me laugh that I'm like, oh, so the original was bugged and the remaster is bugged. Yeah, what did you expect? I don't know. It's kind of funny, but I don't take my laughing and my jokes here for not understanding why people are pissed. I get why people would be pissed, especially if you drop cash on it and you wanted, you know, like a fun kind of like a Godfather experience, or knockoff Godfather experience, I guess I should say. Now I want to go back and play the Godfather game. Like, I've had like this like weird hankering like the last day and a half to go back and play some like weird older titles. You know, like one I just looked up on Steam and I can't find the game. Does anybody remember the game called Alpha Protocol? It's kind of like a spy RPG. I can't remember who the hell made it. Kind of felt like a BioWare game in a weird way. Either way, it was a really kind of, I want to say obscure game because I don't think it was at the time, but yeah, it's just, I've had this like weird hankering to play the game, and I can't explain why. I don't know. Maybe this lockdown shit is just making everyone go crazy. I don't know. Either way, I thought this article would be fun to poke fun at, and you know what? I've had that fun. Let's move on. Well, I got up to kind of stretch my legs a little bit in between articles, and I found my new kitten sitting out in the hallway. So I picked him up, brought him with me. So he's sitting here. So if you hear any meowing, well, that's what's going on there. Either way, moving on. Next article: Ghost of Tsushima apparently doesn't make you choose between the samurai or ghost fighting styles. This is something interesting. So you know, we saw this during the state of play. You know, because we know that the game kind of tracks how you play. I'm not exactly sure how it does it, if it's just a simple tally of, you know, how you kill people. Do you kill people as the ghost? Do you kill people as a samurai? But we know apparently that different characters will react to you differently depending on your legend, depending on how you take encounters. For instance, we've seen one scene where Jin, the main character, is meeting with the man who taught him, you know, swordsmanship. His basically his samurai teacher. We've seen him speak with him at different points of the game. And if Jin plays more as the ghost, or as, you know, as more of a ninja, you know, guerrilla warfare, he actually calls him dishonorable. He doesn't approve of Jin's fighting style, his win at any cost, you know, because there is no honor in that. Yet we've seen other characters. I actually don't know the name of the character. I'm gonna guess she's some sort of like guerrilla resistance leader. You know, we always see her with a bow. I believe she approves of him fighting that way. So we know the game tracks it, and actually there's consequences to which way you play, but it's not going to make you pick one, which I actually like. So, you know, it's one of those that, you know, if you want to go stealth like I'm planning to, it doesn't screw you over. You can still fight, and I think that's important. One of the article reads, did I say who wrote this one? This is Stephen Tailby, by the way. One of the areas focused upon in the recent Ghost of Tsushima state of play was combat. Sucker Punch Productions showed off two very different styles of fighting. Firstly, we saw Jin in full samurai garb marching into a Mongol camp and facing them head on. Then we approached the same scene with Jin acting as the ghost, sneaking in and sneaking in the shadows, and striking fear into the enemy. The way it was presented made it look as though you could choose to fight in one style or the other, but the truth is more flexible. Speaking to IGN, art and creative director Jason Connell says the player can fight however they like, whenever they like, despite what may happen in the story. And I quote, "There's definitely important story moments that are more reflective of this change from samurai to ghost than others," Connell says. But the reality is that even as you have gotten to some story moments, you can still play the game as the samurai, or you may just be more potent or more powerful. We don't make you choose between samurai and ghost, end quote. You may just be more potent or more powerful. Does that mean it might be more prudent to play certain sections of the game a certain way, or you can spec your character out to be better in one style or the other? Also, something he says earlier, is that the story reflects the change from samurai to ghost. Now, I remember what I was saying earlier reminded me of something that I remember reading or hearing in an interview or something earlier, I think closer to E3 when the game was, when we were getting more details about the game. Give me a second, I gotta set the cat down. He wants to run around now. There you go, little guy. When we were first getting detail, when we were first officially starting to get more details about the game, they made it seem like characters will actually respond to you differently depending on your play style. So I'm hoping that's more true than it just being an over time through the story sort of thing, that it actually does respond to your play style. Just because I think that's really cool. It sounds like, where were we? Yeah, right there. It sounds like you'll be able to deck Jin out with armor and equipment that more suits one style of fighting over the other, but that you'll be able to access all of his skills no matter what. Quote, when he's a ghost, he can turn around and play as a samurai because he's always a samurai. Excuse me. Connell continues, noting that even during the state of play presentation, a prompt appears to initiate a standoff during the ghost demonstration. On the stealth state of play segment, if you wanted to jump off the roof and start fighting like a samurai, you could totally do that. We don't spec you out and suddenly you can't play as a samurai, end quote. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to guess that upgrades are a little bit more subtle. That yes, you can lean one way or the other, but it's going to be more based on how you play, not necessarily on what skills you take. Like I said, I think there's going to be some buffs or whatever, because from what we've seen, the game does have an RPG-like mechanics to it. Also, from what I've heard of, the combat's actually kind of punishing. It's very, it's not one of those you can just sit and tank damage. Like, you take hits and you got to be careful, because just as fast as enemies die, Jin can die. So I don't know. I think this is going to be an interesting one to get our hands on. So if you were worried you'd be locked into fighting as a samurai or a ninja, or just a ninja, excuse me, fear not. As you progress, you'll make Jin even more powerful and adaptable with new skills and tools, but you won't have to choose one style over the other. Variety, spice of life, as they say. See, I think the biggest thing, it's what I said after the state of play. I still think this is going to be a game similar to Days Gone, where it's going to be either an absolutely outstanding video game, or it is going to be trash. I don't think it's going to hit middle ground. I think it's going to be great, or it's going to be bad. Just after everything that I've seen of it, I'm actually leaning more towards great. I was kind of in that, I don't know, kind of like I'm being hopeful. I want to be excited for it because the game looks dope. I mean, basically, after the state of play, I've said this and a few people agree with me. It's basically the Assassin's Creed game that I have always wanted, which was a feudal Japan ninja Assassin's Creed game, which, by the way, should always be called Assassin's Creed Rising Sun. By the way, Ubisoft, come on, make it. Whatever, I'm still excited for Valhalla, but that's beside the point. But no, I think with Tsushima, I'm very much more on the hype train. I'm very much more in the camp that I think this game is going to be good. I mean, obviously time will tell, but I am really hopeful for it. And the game looks dope. And again, I really like this idea that basically we're not locked in. We can play the way we want whenever we want. I think that's important. All right, final article here. Rockstar's marketing budget is strong evidence that GTA 6 is due in 2023. Article Brett Makadonsky. I'm not sure. This is on Destructoid, by the way. Let's see here. The article reads, when developers and publishers drag their feet revealing new games, we'll take it upon ourselves to speculate and prematurely confirm their existence. Reading the tea leaves with regards to Rockstar's most assured sequel has us anticipating a wait that'll last a few more years. Last week, Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, filed its annual required Form 10-K with the SEC. A10-K isn't 6.2 miles. My head hurts. It's a detailed report for investors that documents all facets of publicly traded companies, financials such as history, organizational structure, financial statements, earnings per share, subsidiaries, executive compensation, and any other relevant data. Analyst Jeff Cohen of investment firm Stephens Incorporated. It noted that Take-Two expects its marketing budget to swell to $89.2 million for the period between April 1st, 2023 and March 31st, 2024, as reported by GamesBeat. For the fiscal year before that, the marketing budget is expected to be $40.9 million. After that, it's $35.5 million for 2025's fiscal year. It seems fairly obvious the publisher's marketing expenditures would spike, more than double in this case, in support of a major launch. Recently, reports have come out that Rockstar is in early development on Grand Theft Auto 6. The timelines seem like they make sense. Rockstar is ready to ramp up on production of GTA 6 while internally planning for a 2023 or spring 2024 release. I'd go... I don't know. I don't think you release a GTA 6 in the early half of the year. If they release it at the earliest, they do what they did with GTA 5, which GTA 5 came out, I want to say it was in August, I think, in August, September, I think, was when GTA 5 came out. The first time, not the re-release on PS4 and Xbox One. I'm talking the 360 one. I believe that was in, it was a September, I do believe. No, I believe it was in August. God damn it, now I can't remember. Either way, it's not super important. So yeah, I would go late, what are they saying, late 2023, not early 2024. That'd be my guess, if this is accurate. Well, I mean, the numbers that they're showing are accurate, but if this means what people are speculating this means, I should say. It seems fairly obvious that a publisher's marketing expenditures would spike. Yeah, sorry, I already read that. However, don't be too surprised if Take-Two isn't dead set on getting the GTA out the door as quick as possible. It'll be a commercial jackpot. Sure, that much is nearly guaranteed, but GTA 5 is still printing money quarter after quarter. Take-Two already has a golden goose, and that means it probably is in no rush to hatch the next golden goose. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean, this is interesting, but I mean, it's not a lot to go on. It's basically just it's the marketing, the expected marketing budget for a company that has made some very well-known games. I would argue some of the best games of all time. Look, I get it. Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer Red Dead Online, or whatever the hell RDR2's multiplayer thing is, didn't explode like GTA Online, but I don't think GTA Online, how to put it, I think it was kind of trying to recapture lightning in a bottle that they had with GTA Online. I think there was just something so... I think that one was just such a phenomenon that I think it caught so many people off guard. I mean, hell, I'm still waiting for story DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5. That'll never happen, sadly, because everything got put into GTA Online. But at the same time, I understand why, because I think that was clearly what took people by storm when it came out, and it still sells the game to this day. I think that's something really cool. So I get why they're probably not super on board with jumping on to the next GTA 5, especially after seeing what Red Dead Online did with RDR2. I mean, don't get me wrong, Red Dead Redemption 2 I thought was a phenomenal game. It was my game of the year that year. Was that last year? Jesus, yeah, last year. Jesus Christ, hard to believe that was already last year. Was it last year? No, it wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago. Holy crap, I'm sorry. Things have been really weird for me since I've left college. I've been losing track of time. Either way, not super important. What I'm trying to get at is, with the fact that RDR2 or that Red Dead Online didn't really take off the way I think Rockstar wanted to, especially with the success of GTA Online, I think they're going to take their time to make sure that they get GTA 6 right. As I said with Red Dead 2, I just hope they don't focus so heavily on the online component that they end up making a subpar single-player game. I don't think they will, but at the same time, I think the possibility is always there when a company really sees those dollar signs in the form, I don't want to say a gimmick, but I'm going to call it a gimmick, but in something like Grand Theft Auto Online, it's like I said, I hope that they don't sacrifice their single-player stories for that online cash. That's my opinion on that. But either way, not a lot to speculate or go off of on this. I just thought it would be something kind of interesting to kind of round out our articles on. Moving on is going to be some focus on multiplayer for Siege 6, and my brain is already forgetting Apex Legends. There we go. Alright guys, moving on to the video section. Now this stuff, as I said earlier, was a request by Akita Touchdown, again, friend of the channel, all that stuff I said earlier. Go check him out, blah, blah, blah. There's my second plug. You're not getting another one, dude. Or at least not in this video. But no, I always kind of say whenever he makes suggestions, he's very much more a multiplayer guy while I'm a single-player guy. So, you know, always take whatever I say during these segments kind of with a grain of salt, knowing that, especially Rainbow Six, and not my game. Honestly, I've never played it. You know, I play Apex. Actually, I haven't played Apex in a long time. I think right now the multiplayer game that I've gotten back into playing League, but that's a different story for a different day. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to shooters, or especially FPSs, my esport of choice is Counter-Strike, not Rainbow Six. But I have been seeing clips, and especially, you know, been watching a few matches here or there. I can respect the strategy and respect the game when it comes to Rainbow Six Siege. So, as I said, I understand the basic concept of the game, just it's not my game, so to speak. All of this to say, you know, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about it, so maybe I can't talk about the game and its meta, but let's see what we can see here. This is about the new operators and their gadgets, etc.
Operation Steel Wave is advancing on Rainbow Six Siege, bringing a new attacker named Ace, who throws sequentially exploding hard breach gadgets that create small, medium, and large problems for defenders. The new defender, Melusi, deploys Banshee devices to hum angrily at any attackers in range and slow their movement speed, giving them some problems of their own. But if the sound you hear as you approach the objective is less of a hum and more of a beep, then you've tripped the new secondary gadget, the Proximity Alarm. A defender will be with you shortly.
Okay, so as I've mentioned before, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about Siege, but of what I do know about Siege is its speed and accuracy are going to win you the day here. Especially, you know, because if I remember, what was his name? Blackbeard. Wasn't he giving people fits when he first got announced because of his front-mounted shield that almost took away headshots? And this game is basically all about headshots. So basically this is all to say that humming, I can definitely that I think what they said, that Banshee device, especially on defense where it's supposed to slow the attacker down, I can definitely see where that's going to give you the edge. Also the trip motion alarm is also pretty cool.
Take a quick second to subscribe to this channel, and let's see Operation Steel Wave in action as we tour the freshly renovated and nicely appointed rooms of the rework of a Siege classic, House.
Yeah, I don't know the map
when Ace, the new
well enough to talk about it.
Attacker, suits up for action. His Selma gadget can be thrown onto a breachable surface, hard or soft, where it will stick, deploy explosive arms, slide on down, and then boom. If there's space and a defender hasn't interfered, the Selma will go through the cycle 2 more times to create a positively massive hole. But even if a Selma is stymied before it creates the full 3-boom opening, it can still create a new line of sight, a new opening for gadgets and utility, or a new entry point. It can also blow open an unreinforced hatch, but it'll take 2 to get through a reinforced one because the Selma doesn't do sequential explosions when deployed on a floor. And though you can stick it to pretty much any surface, a Selma will only activate if the surface is destructible. Fun fact, those explosive arms...
Alright. I like the idea. From what I know of Siege, there's not something like it. I could definitely see where that would be useful, especially in slow plays, not necessarily fast breaches. I mean, again, this is all with my very limited knowledge or experience with Siege. Like I said, I've seen the game for probably all of about 40 minutes. But like I said, I could definitely see with the right team and the right players. I could definitely see where that would be a really neat gadget. Like I said, it adds a it adds a dynamic, I think, to your breaches. Like I said, maybe not necessarily what you want for something really fast. Because with that, you'd probably want to breach. You want something to blow, get in, get out. Get in, get to the objective, or get in, get the kills, and be done. But like I said, I could definitely see that gadget being pretty useful.
Arms will destroy any defender gadget that's in their deployment area,
Oh, that's cool.
which is another way that Ace can make a big impact without taking big risks. The Selma canister is vulnerable to any damage, but because Selma explosions don't do much damage to operators, a defender might want to wait for that second breach to spring a nasty surprise.
Op 4, last stop standing.
Other counters to Ace's Selma breaches include
Yeah, as I said, that is a problem with that gadget. It's seeing that it pops so slowly. Like I said, neat idea. Just you gotta execute with that one properly. You gotta use it in the right situations. I mean, the fact that it can mess with enemy gadgets, I think, is also it's a neat little aspect that I probably wouldn't. Knowing myself, I probably wouldn't have tried it.
Include electricity from Kaid or Bandit's gadgets, mid-air interception from Wamai or Jaeger's devices, and jamming from Mute as long as the Mute jammer remains in place. Take the jammer out and the Selma will automatically get back to business. Also, a defender with a sightline to the gadget can simply shoot it, so you'll want to use Ace's AK-12 assault rifle equipped with NATO sights, his M1014 shotgun, or his P9 sidearm to clear out any potential interference. Interference. Well, that's the new South African defender Malusi's middle name. Not literally, it's more that her Banshee gadget is designed with interference in mind. Deployable on vertical and horizontal surfaces, the Banshee emits a loud buzzing noise whenever an attacker steps into its substantial radius and line of sight. In addition to alerting anyone nearby of the attacker's presence, the Banshee also slows down the attacker's movement, and the effect gets more powerful the closer they get to the device. Now that is not the place you want to be, especially if Malusi is nearby with her T5 SMG, Super 90 shotgun, or RG-15 sidearm. Did I mention she's a 3-speed? A fast defender against slowed attackers is just the matchup that Malusi wants, whether she's protecting the objective or roaming off-site. Note that her...
Yeah, as I was basically what he said. I mean, again, the whole 2-speed, 3-speed thing, not my... I don't know the meta of this game well enough to be able to comment on that. But no, clearly this character is... Their gadgets aren't made to do damage or affect the other players, open up sight lines or anything like that. It's clearly to make use of the higher speed of the character, the faster firing SMG and all that. So I mean, clearly this character is more of an ambush type. At least that's what I get out of it.
Banshee device only slows attacker movement, not their aim. So bold attackers might step into the Banshee radius on purpose to lure Malusi out for a duel. Otherwise, they'll need to take another route, or find a way to destroy the Banshee. Explosives work, so Ash, Zofia, and Kali are strong counters to Malusi's influence. A melee hit is effective too, but you'll want the assistance of Twitch or Thatcher to temporarily turn the thing off so you can get close, or you could just ask Finka for a boost. But a Banshee combines so well with other defender gadgets that it might not be the only obstacle to contend with. Smoke's Toxic Beauties and Goyo's Volcan Shields both create hazards that attackers need to escape quickly, something a Banshee won't let them do. Rushes from speedy attackers, pushes from big shieldy boys.
Yeah, I didn't actually think about that either, of how that could be used in conjunction with other gadgets, specifically ones that do damage over time, such as like a poison gas or something like that. You know, a gadget like that'll slow your movement speed. You know, like I said, I've been playing a lot of League, and something that I'm trying to get better is using the E skill from Misfortune, who I usually play. Use the E skill, then the ultimate on R. You know, the E slows him down, R fires that cone shot of hers. I know I'm comparing apples to oranges here, comparing this game to League of Legends, but then totally different fucking thing. But still, it's the same basic concept, I think, of, you know, you slow him down, then you hit him with an AoE or a damage over time sort of thing. So I can see where you can come up with some interesting combos with this character.
And sneaky flanks from the elusive Nook all make the Banshee hum with delight. At least, I think that's delight. It certainly sounds more content than the Defender's new secondary gadget, the Proximity Alarm. This thing sounds nervous, or maybe that's just the feeling that comes naturally when a loud noise is signaling your position to any nearby enemies. Whether it's tipping off roamers to an attacker's entry point, or alerting an anchor that someone's on their flank, all the Proximity Alarm needs is line of sight and an attacker in its radius to sound the call.
15 seconds left.
Now, some congratulations are in order because the lengthy renovations to the one and only house have been completed. It's still a casual map, not one where you'd host anything too fancy, but that upstairs workshop that's been under construction for over 4 years is now a lovely pink bedroom with a new walk-in closet, and the top of the front porch has been enclosed to create a new hallway over to the bathroom. Most of the rooms will be very familiar to frequent guests, but a substantial new 2-story addition off the back adds rooms for music, entertainment, and play, as well as a new staircase and exterior balcony. Arriving visitors should note that the main entrance is currently out of order, and one garage entrance has been closed, leaving only the garage door under the office overhang available. Also coming with Operation Steel Wave is a balancing tweak for Amaru, aimed at making her Gara hook entry smoother and swifter. Plus, she can now use her hook to bust up through unreinforced floor hatches, making for some surprisingly quick interior movement. The tweak to Amaru, the Proximity Alarm, and the house map rework will be free for all players when Operation Steel Wave launches. The new operators, Ace and Malusi, will be exclusively available to Year 5 pass holders for the first week, and after 7 days, will be available for anyone to purchase with Renown or R6 credits. To keep up with the latest plans for Year 5 of Rainbow Six Siege, subscribe to this channel and visit us at news.ubisoft.com.
Alright, I gotta say, man, I really do like... I really do like Rainbow Six Siege, the concept of it. Again, not my kind of thing, just because I'm not super big into, like, hell, even when I play League, I know I keep coming back to League, but again, it's a multiplayer game that I've been playing recently. I don't like playing with a headset on. I've said this before. I generally do not like playing multiplayer games for that fact that I don't want to have a headset on and talk to people, and it makes me nervous, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like talking to new people or anything like that. Like I say, even when I play League, I don't like to use the chat function any more than I have to. For the most part, I'm just completely blanking here on what I was trying to get at. No, I like the concept. I'd love to play it. It's just, like I said, I don't feel like hopping into a game, a game where it's very tactical based, and I need to sit and talk with people. But I do definitely have a respect for the strategy of the game, especially for the development team at Ubisoft coming up with this, which is a game where basically there's so many destructible surfaces and there's so many different ways to play it and play certain situations to get angles on people. It's a really well designed game. I know it's kind of had some questionable balancing things here and there, but that's beside balancing. I'm not sure how I'm trying to put that. It's had some balance issues here or there, but again, I really think the team at Ubisoft is trying to do something really cool with this game. And like I said, I like the tech behind it and the concept of these almost fully destructible environments. It's really cool. So, all right, let's move on. All right, as I said, moving on, we're going to be moving on to some Apex Legends stuff. I'm trying to remember, is this Season 5 for Apex as well. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, we have a new character. We'll be checking out their trailer. The new character is Loba. I believe Loba was suspected by a lot of people, or was people were expecting that the character would have some sort of wolf theme for a while now, if I remember correctly. Months ago, people were getting screenshots of just like random wolves running around in the background in Apex. You know, you kind of really had to catch it. But people were finding these things. So, and I believe Loba is a female wolf in Spanish. My Spanish skills are pretty shitty, but I believe that's what it is. So I believe Lobo is male wolf, Loba is female wolf. I don't know. Like I said, I suck at Spanish, but I think that's what it is. So I think this has kind of been like secretly hinted at by Apex, or by the developers. But I do have to give them credit. I think they hint things. They do some really cool stuff with the character trailers and all that when it comes to Apex. I think it's very well done. Kind of creating a universe with all with everything.
Class have come to the Apex Games, and her name is Loba.
Enough flirting. Save it for when we win.
But don't let looks fool you. Her glamorous appearance is matched only by her lethality.
I'm always dressed to kill.
The most notorious thief in the Outlands, no item is safe when Loba's on the hunt.
All that loot looks heavy. Let me help you with that.
Her fashionable jump drive tech allows her to teleport and swipe valuable gear.
Now for the best part, looting your corpse.
Ooh, that's cool.
Quickly maneuver around her enemies.
You made the mistake of taking what I wanted.
Enhanced vision allows her to see high-tier loot through structures and at distance.
I know what I like, and I know how to get it.
Let me pull that back.
Loba
Can she see that gear when it's equipped on people?
And at distance. High-tier loot through structure. Vision allows her to see.
Yeah, I think she can.
Through structures and at distance.
I know what I like, and I know
okay.
how to get it.
So basically, she can see through walls on people who are using high-tier loot. At least as far as I understand it. That's neat.
Powered by her black market staff.
Shop's open for business.
This sophisticated boutique allows her squad to cycle through all loot in the vicinity and pick their pleasure.
I came here for revenge.
That's neat.
Stay for the treasure.
The Apex Games have never looked so good.
A wolf never gives up her prey.
Yeah, season 5. Huh. Well, I'm not bad. No, I like the idea of the character. Cool. Ultimate ability is interesting. Where she opens. I'm trying to think how to describe it. Yeah, where she basically opens up. It's kind of. I'm trying to think of a comparison I can make. It's kind of like a loot all functionality in a lot that you see in a lot of PC games, where you can kind of create a radius and like look through all the boxes and around the area. I think some Fallout games have done similar things, maybe some mods. I know Divinity has a similar system. Divinity 2 has a similar system. Yeah, interesting. I think the movement abilities, I think, were the most interesting of how she can kind of like, I'm not gonna say phase shift, but how she can basically like, teleport around. I think that's probably what's the more interesting things that this character can do, making her very highly mobile, hard to take down. So yeah, cool character. All right, guys, let's round this out. This is the Season 5 Fortune's Favor gameplay trailer. Hungry like the wolf. That's cute. You get credit for using a great song. You lose points for it not being either the Duran Duran version, which is the best, or the Real Big Fish cover.
I need your help adding a rare and valuable treasure to my collection. Just be careful. And don't die.
Here we go again.
Quests, interesting.
Treasure pack here.
So I mean, what am I seeing a new like a PvE sort of thing going on? I'm probably misunderstanding something.
Shop's open for business. You should smile more.
I'm hungry like the wolf.
No, I mean, cool, definitely interesting. I don't know, man. I just haven't had that urge to really hop back in Apex lately. I like the game, got nothing against it. As far as the sort of arena-based battle royale games, other than PUBG, this is the first one that's really kind of caught my attention. It's just, I don't know, it's just not been what I've been in the mood for. But I can definitely see where this would draw some people in. Like I said, I think maybe I was seeing something like a PvE being added here, but I'd have to look a little bit more into that. As usual, I come into these sort of like trailers or whatever. I come in blind, just kind of give you guys my gut reactions or whatever. But either way, I think that's all I got for you guys this week. Thanks for watching. Obviously, like I said, probably it's going to be later today, given that it's already like 9:30 when I'm recording this. So it'll probably be tomorrow. Or no, later today. There we go. When we watch the Sony State of Play, focusing on The Last of Us Part 2. Thanks for watching this one. As always, social media and links and timestamps, all that stuff is in the description. Like, comment, you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned more next time. Till then, my name's AJ Gells. This is Untitled Gaming Channel. Could you tell I was really focusing on enunciating there at the end? Thanks for watching, guys. I'm out.